All right, all right, all right. The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Okay. And it's a system for solving problems of fear, greed, FOMO, confidence, discipline, things like that in day trading. I highly recommend this book. If you want to move from being unprofitable to profitable, go pick this up. Okay, take the time. I've got the other videos. Start going through them, and let's dive into chapter 3 and figure out why we're not in control. All right, you may have mapped some behaviors and you're like, why am I not in control? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, let's fill that gap. In chapter 3, Jared Chandler reveals something most traders never realize. I never did till now, right? Well, until like years ago, but it was from his book. You're not fully in control of your trading behavior because your emotional responses are happening faster than your conscious brain can react. Okay, we're going to get a little nerdy for a minute. It's not too bad, so hang in there. All right, your actions, like chasing a trade, hesitating, moving a stop, feel like bad decisions, but they're often actually emotional reactions hardwire into your brain from past experiences. How many of us have past trading experiences that has jacked us up? Okay, most stories are the same. You get in the market and you do super well, and you're like, this is amazing. And then what happens? You get absolutely obliterated and wrecked, right? And you build all these bad, negative past experiences because you really don't know what you're doing. Okay? I didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I still don't, but I'm working on it. All right? You're not weak. You're running on default, excuse me, default emotional programming. Whew. All right. This chapter dives into the brain, dives in how the brain works under stress and risk. When emotions rise, the limbic system, the emotional center, overrides the prefrontal cortex, logical reasoning, and unless you've trained yourself to respond differently, you'll keep repeating the same emotional mistakes even if you know better. Does anyone relate to that? For real. I know better, but I did it anyway. How frustrating does that feel? Okay? I say that because I'm telling you, sometimes I'm still there, but I have really, really, really come a long way with interrupting my own behavior and pulling myself back into my prefrontal cortex, and I'll apply my logical reasoning to my trading and, pretty much like skip this whole part right here. Okay. This is great for when someone grabs me in a back alley, right? And right, and I need to respond emotionally to try and save my life. Now, hopefully, I do have some logical training on how to take that person out. It's kind of the same deal, right? And unless you've trained yourself to respond differently, you'll keep repeating the same emotional mistakes even if you know better. So let's just go ahead and keep going, okay? Tendler explains that true control doesn't come from willpower or brute force, it comes from awareness and correction. Okay? First, you got to be aware. Okay? And then you can train yourself the correct response. Okay? To change your behavior, you must first understand why it's happening and then use that awareness to gradually, not overnight, rewire your response. This is what builds real control. Okay? I've traded with people and I've been like, how is he still holding this trade? Isn't he afraid it's going to turn? Okay. He's not because he's trained himself. Okay. I could go over a lot of different things, but I think you guys, get what I'm putting down. So, key takeaways: you're not always making conscious decisions in trading. Emotions often hijack the moment. This is why you map this stuff, and I'm telling you, this is why people. Nobody wants to map emotions. Okay, so that's why the success rate for day traders is kind of low. All right. Repeating the same mistakes even when you know better. But here's some truth for you. It doesn't mean you're broken. Okay, I felt broken, guys. I felt broken, and especially with me because I was connected to traders that were easily making six figures who had made seven figures, and I'm like talking to them and I'm on the phone with them and I'm texting them because I have connection. I'm like, well, why can you do it? Why can't I? Why am I broke? Why are you fixed? Anyway, it's not true. You're not broken. It means you haven't fixed the root cause yet. Okay. Emotional reactions happen faster than logic. This is biology, not failure. Okay. So your emotional reactions are first. That's why we got to learn to interrupt them, because they're going to happen first. You're going to get all emotional, but then you can interrupt it, and then you can slow it down, and then you can bring in the logic. And then that's when your behavior can match the logic and not the emotion. Okay. All right. You can't suppress emotion long term, but you can rewrite how you respond to them. All right. You don't want to become an emotionless trader who just trades like a robot. All right. If that were the case, I think we could just create automated systems, which I know there's a bunch out there that work, and I've worked with them. But nothing beats a experienced trader who can objectively look at the market and have more like insight with logical reasoning. Okay, it's amazing. Okay, so just remember, emotional reactions happen faster than logic. This is biology. It's not failure. You are not broken. Okay, you are actually operating the way you were made. Okay, the way that we are wired as humans, emotions happen faster. Okay, this is a logical game. We need to learn to bring that logic in. True control equals understanding plus practice plus time. If you truly want to get control of your trading, you need to first understand it. You need to understand your strategy, yes. You need to understand candlestick charts, yes. You need to understand yourself, even more importantly, right? And then you want to practice like any professional, and you want to put a lot of time in. What, 10,000 hours is what they say to become a professional or to become one of the best? So there you go, thousands of hours, all right? And don't rush it. I just want to say that. Okay, action steps. Own the gap between knowledge and execution. Write this down. I know what to do. I just need to train myself to actually do it under pressure, okay? I kind of have this like back and forth feeling about paper trading, okay? If paper trading were real, like were real money, I'd be a millionaire, okay? It's so easy. Paper trading is stupid easy. That's why I recommend people get a $50,000 combine from somewhere, a 20,000, like a little tiny combine, right? And you risk like 0.5% of that account. So, if your drawdown is $2,000, maybe you're risking like $50 a trade. You can take hundreds of trades before losing that account. It's great practice, and it actually puts a little bit of pressure because it's real. Okay, admitting this gap is the first step towards mastering it. All right, so look for repeating emotional mistakes. Okay, so things that you repeat a lot, and then ask yourself, when I lose control, what happens emotionally in that moment, right? Is this pattern repeating across multiple sessions or weeks? What does it feel like right before I slip? Start journaling these answers. It'll reveal which emotions are hijacking your process the most. Okay, real important. All right, and create a reset routine. Pick a specific behavior like revenge trading, exit early, whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to fix. And decide what you'll do instead when the emotion starts building. For example, if I feel revenge trading energy, I'll pause, stand up, take 3 breaths before making any decisions, right? Because you're trying to shut down the emotional part of your brain. You're trying to bring back that logical thinking that you need to be successful, right? So you want to figure out something you can do, right? Just take a pause, stand up, turn around 3 times, throw salt over your left shoulder, and do that before making a decision, right? You're just building muscle memory of control. That's all you're doing, is you're flexing on yourself, saying emotionally I want to do this, but I'm going to stop and make a logical decision. Okay, and it may not always work, but this is the muscle you're going to build, right? It takes a lot of time. It takes that time investment, right, and practice. Okay, all right. So rehearse the response. This sounds small, but it's powerful. Visualize the emotion rising, and then rehearse yourself responding correctly. Okay. If this wasn't a thing, Navy SEALs wouldn't. The training would be different. They would sit in a classroom. They'd give them a book and they'd say, "Here, read this. So when we get over there, I want you to respond the way it is in the book." Okay? No, that's not how it works. Okay? Because it's a highly, highly emotional charged situations, right? Same thing with trading. Okay? If it's not highly emotional for you, maybe this isn't such a problem. But if you're feeling the emotions and you know you're doing things that you know you shouldn't do, it's usually out of an emotional response. So you need to train yourself accordingly, right? So do this before the the trading day, right? It prepares your brain to act differently under pressure. Okay, that's why a lot of us can paper trade, right? But when it comes to actually making money, things change. All right. So seriously, take note of this stuff. This is the stuff that changed it for me. This is the stuff that made a difference. This these silly things and talking about my feelings and my emotions and yeah, the stuff nobody wants to talk about. That's what changed it. Okay. So let's go over. Let's end with some encouragement. If you've ever thought I knew better, so why did I still do it? You're not alone. And remember, that is like your default, okay? As a human, that is your default to emotions come first, right? But you can train it. You can train your emotional responses different, okay? This chapter proves that you're not stupid, you're not lazy, you're not broken. You're simply running on untrained emotional reactions. We cannot emotionally react to the charts. We know this. Okay. If you don't agree with that statement, you haven't traded long enough. All right. 100%. I challenge you. 100%. And I want to say this one more time. This chapter proves you are not stupid. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are simply running on untrained emotional reactions. So let's train them. Okay. But now you have the tools to change that. This is the work that separates amateurs from professionals. I do not want to be a boom and bust cycle trader who makes a little bit of money. Okay. I do not want to be mediocre at this. I do not want to be the best. I do not care about being the best. This is what my goal is. I want to be a professional trader. So that's where my focus is. Not just knowing what to do, but being able to do it in the heat of the moment. Okay? Heat of the moment when you start going on tilt and you say no, no more. You will not blow this account up or save it, but I'm just being real. Okay? Every time you pause, breathe, and act with control, you are becoming that version of yourself, right? The professional trader that you want to be. Okay? Keep showing up. Control is not loud, it is built quietly through repetition and self awareness. I hope this has been like game changing for you. Take this book serious. Take the challenge, take the book to the charts, do the stuff that nobody wants to do and comment their results. I'm super excited. Share, like, do all that crazy stuff. That'd be great. Send this to someone who needs it. And yeah, just DM it to me because I need it. I'll see you guys in the next video.